let's start with your op.gg. This is always a good place to start. So
Untitled.
one of the first things that I always like to look at when I'm coaching people who have aspirations to get to a certain rank is how many games they've played. So the fact that you've played 100 games, I think you've actually played more than me this season. Yeah, you have.
Nice.
So that's good. That's the first issue I see is some people just aren't playing enough games. So the dedication is the biggest thing. Just if you're looking to get better, it's just the 10,000 hours rule where you just have to play this game a lot to get good at it. I remember a really long time ago, I heard, you know who Skara is? He used to be in the League of Legends scene a lot, not so much anymore.
Skara? No, I don't recognize it because I
Okay.
wouldn't have been in the scene a little bit ago.
Yeah, he used to be in the scene a long time ago. These days, he's doing variety streams or whatnot, or whatever. But
Oh,
he
okay.
gave somebody a piece of advice once that said you cannot complain about your rank at all until you've played 2,000 games in a season. And I thought that was
Yeah, I know.
absurd until I actually played 2,000 games in a season, and that was the first season I hit Challenger. It just made a huge difference. So just playing enough games is one of the biggest parts to climbing, just because there's so many different factors in this game. It's a really complex game, which is why it's still thriving after 10 plus years or whatever, right? And there's all these different
Yep.
champion matchups and whatnot. So just playing enough is going to be the first step. Okay,
Personally.
so I'll tell you my three websites that I like as well. op.gg is one of
Okay.
them.
Okay.
Um, and the reason I like op.gg is, you know how like right when you get into champion select, like a bunch of text will pop up with all the summoner names. It'll say like Bumfunk MC has joined the lobby.
Yeah.
If you just copy paste all of that right here, it'll give you stats for everybody on your team.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. That's
it
cool.
gives stats for everybody on your team all on one screen, and that way you can just see like if your ADC locks in a champion that they have like a 20% win rate on, you might want to dodge. So you can kind of just check out your team and what champions they're playing and if it's worthy of a dodge or not. And it's really simple. So just copy pasting that here is worth. But another thing we'll look at in your op.gg is your champion pool. So when it comes to your champion pool, there's a few pieces of advice that I have. The first of which is to not play too many champions, which I think you're actually doing a pretty good job of so far. You have, Nami is obviously seems to be your main with 43 games played, and then 18, 18, 15, and then after that, these are kind of outliers. So your champion pool is about 4, and I think that's good. I recommend 2 to 3. I think it's really bad to be a one trick because then you're playing way too one dimensionally. So I recommend a
Okay.
champion pool of 2 to 3, and that's just because I think it's better to be great at a few things rather than good at a lot of things, right?
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Yeah, to like master like a few things, right?
yeah,
Instead
yeah,
of
yeah,
just being
absolutely,
like mediocre.
exactly. And then the other piece of advice that I have for a champion pool is based off of your rank. So I always, because people are always like, oh, what's the strongest champion right now? What's meta? What should I be playing? And let me explain my logic to you. So in high ranked games, um, your champion picks matter a lot more because everybody in high elo games, they're very similar in skill level. So what's going to make a big difference in those games is who has the better champion. But in
That makes
lower
sense.
ranks, because everybody is kind of just like all over the place, like mechanics are all over the place. What makes the difference in those games is going to be some other random factor, like who randomly ints or throws a Baron fight or something like that. And it's not going to matter so much of, oh, my champion is stronger than yours. So when it comes to lower ranked players, and you're in bronze, so you're considered a lower ranked player, just play whatever you like. Play whatever you like. Play whatever you're comfortable with. Don't try to I heard you talking
Play
earlier
meta.
about, yeah, heard you talking about earlier about Maokai support. I think Maokai support is probably the strongest support in the game right now. And if you were comfortable with him, I would be like, hell yeah, play Maokai support. If you're not comfortable with him, though, there's no point in trying to challenge yourself to play something meta because you're actually going to be hurting yourself more than helping yourself. Maokai is going to be better in higher ranks because of the playstyle. So I also heard you talking on stream earlier. You were like, I feel like I do a ton of damage, but I have no pressure in the lane, and that's because that's how you're actually supposed to play the champion. You
Yeah.
just poke in lane. You don't actually get any kills. The reason Maokai is so strong though as a support is because you can control objectives and you throw a bunch of saplings in the river and in bushes and stuff. And anytime the enemy team tries to go to Baron or Dragon, they're gonna take a ton of damage from your saplings and they automatically lose the fight. That's what makes it so good.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
it's
That
a
makes
lot
sense.
better in higher ranks when people actually play for objectives, whereas in lower ranks people just kind of run around and kill each other, and it's like a fiesta.
Okay.
Another
Cool.
website, I have 3 websites that I use. So here is another one, u.gg. So this website has been super helpful. So all you do is you just type in your champion, and then I would recommend sorting it by Diamond 2 and up, and this will just show you the best skill
Okay.
order, the best runes, the best build for this champion, and what I consider to be high elo, right?
Okay.
So this is really good for just giving you an understanding of what is typically best. I will say though, some people get into a bad habit of copying what they see on this website every single game, and that's a bad habit to get into because you should be able to adapt. Um,
Yeah,
so
and
for
that way you don't really learn like what something does either,
yeah,
right?
yeah. If you're just copying things and not actually reading what your runes do, that could definitely hurt you. So like an
Yeah.
example of this is like it says Moby's is highest win rate, so some people build Moby's every game. But if you're up against a team that has a lot of CC, you should probably be going Merc Treads instead, right? So you need to
Okay.
be able to adapt. You need to still understand what runes and builds do, obviously. But this is really good for like just getting a start. So that's
Okay.
why I use u.gg for. The last one I use, this one probably won't apply to you as much because I use this as a way to figure out what's meta. So this is LOL Analytics. You just sort by your role, and then I go to Diamond 2 Plus again, and then I sort
This
by
one's
win
called
rate.
AOL Analytics.
LOL Analytics.
I never even heard of this one.
Yeah, so this one is really good for giving really good, accurate data. So here I'm sorting by highest win rate for supports and Diamond 2 or higher. So now I can see what is having the most success. So this really helps me figuring out what's meta. Again, it doesn't really apply so much to you, um, because if you're not caring about the meta and you're just playing comfort picks. And I also like this because you can compare different things. So let's see if what I was saying earlier is accurate. So Maokai has a 53.33 percentage or win percentage in high elo, but if you go to all ranks, he drops down 2%. You know,
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
that just goes to show that the lower rank you go, let's check like Iron actually. Yeah, see in Iron, Maokai has a 47% win rate
Yeah,
compared
that
to
makes sense.
53 in high elo. So it just goes to show that, this champion it's only good if you can play around objectives, which you don't do in low elo. So these are the three
Correct.
websites that I use. They all have their own purpose. I think they're all really good though. Okay, so I will say this. I know last game that you played, you went Aftershock, and that was an accident. You don't actually play that playstyle, right?
No, 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 never,
Okay,
never.
good, because solo queue is a game I personally don't think you want to rely on your teammates too much for. You want to carry your teammates as much as possible, so doing damage is going to help you carry games. So if you're playing Lux, especially in Bronze, full AP every time. Every
Yep,
single time. So,
that's
and
what I like to
you
hear.
should
Music
be
to my ears.
going like Luden, Sork Boots, Zonia's probably. I think every single game you're playing support just come stand in this bush. Every single time.
When
Um,
you start,
so yeah, as soon as the game starts. So this is a low elo game, and I can already tell because of where everybody's positioned. Typically, the top laner stands here, the jungler stands here, the mid laner stands here, support stands here, ADC stands here. That's called a 5-point start. That's just so that you can see every single opening and make sure the enemy team doesn't invade and do anything cheeky.
okay, okay,
So every single game, just stand right here. It's that
all right.
simple. I will
So if
say
I see someone, do I ping it or do I try to like poke or like kind
you
of what if I do see
you
someone coming?
you probably just throw your E at them to slow them, ping them, and then run away.
Okay,
You're not looking to fight or anything. You're just keeping
just
watch
vision.
in case anybody comes. Yeah.
Worries.
Okay, so I will say I don't know how I really feel about Ignite. So this is the logic that I have behind taking Ignite on
Oh,
Lux.
controversial.
Yes. So Lux is a long range champion, which mean and Ignite is has a pretty short range in order to use it. So you're kind of going against your own playstyle by taking Ignite because the way I look at it, if you're close enough to use Ignite on an enemy, you're probably positioning too close to them. I think that
Yep.
it could be potentially useful in the lane phase, but late game, if you're igniting people, it could be pretty bad. So I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. You could be greedy and you could take something like Barrier. Exhaust is fine. I don't really think Ignite is too bad just because you're playing in Bronze, and we'll see how
What about
effective it
TP
is.
though?
No.
What do you think about TP support? No,
Never ever TP on
never.
support. No, no, no.
Okay, okay, okay.
So barrier is about the greediest you can get. and that's
Okay, okay.
because it keeps you alive, but it doesn't actually help your ADC at all. This is one thing I was watching your video, your stream a little bit, that last game that you were playing, and it seems
Okay.
like sometimes you don't understand your champion's capability. So the first thing is you want to get to this wave, right? You want to get to
Okay.
this wave so you can collect that XP. You throw your E. Right now, you are winning this fight. You get first movement. You have an E that's going to hit both of them. They're going to be slowed. This is a fight you're already winning, but you're running the opposite direction. You see this?
Okay.
So, when we watch your point of view, I'm going to need to see where your cursor is, um, and see if this is you just, like, not understanding it or if you're clicking too far away. Because some people have a really bad habit of, like, when they're walking, they're clicking way over here or way over here. You want your cursor to actually be pretty close to your champion. That way you
Yeah,
don't.
my cursor is closed. I was
Okay.
just so what I was doing here was I was poking,
hmm
and then I'm kind of afraid of Nami early on because of her W. So like yeah, I just poked and left.
hmm
That was pretty much it.
So this is a winning fight to me. You're gonna get
Okay.
your E off first. They're both gonna get slowed. I'm pretty sure this hits both of them. Okay, it just hits Twitch. That's fine. But it just hits Twitch. That's fine. But now you also have your passive, which means you can auto again. I mean, ideally, right here, I would just like to see you E auto
Okay. Okay.
every single time. And now these 3 minions die, and you didn't get any XP for this because you're way back here. And that's really
Interesting.
bad because so do you know how many minions it takes to hit level 2?
Is it 6? I think, or it's like the second melee minion or something,
It
right?
is. It's so in the bot lane it'll be the entire first wave and then the 3 melee minions.
The 3 melee. Okay. Okay.
So
So
the
it's
level
9.
2 power spike is something you always want to contest, and it has to be the melee minions too. If it's a caster, it's not enough XP. So that's something you always
Okay.
want to contest. Another thing that I notice is just from watching a little bit earlier, you need to start learning when to punish people for using crucial abilities. So Nami starting Q here is actually awful. The fact that she
Okay.
just used it and missed it means she is a walking health bar at the moment. She is completely useless. The same thing applies for like a Blitzcrank when they use Q and they miss Q. They're useless. You know, they can't do anything to you. A Thresh who misses Q, a Morgana who misses Q, those champions are useless, especially when they're level 1 and they don't have any other abilities. So she just used Q, missed it, you could be up in their face right now. They should not be able to walk up to this wave at all.
Okay.
And you also always want to threaten your auto attack passive as well. So like I want to see you playing further up here because the Q from Nami isn't available right now. You just landed your E. You always want to be threatening that passive proc afterwards. And then again, the level 2 power spike is huge, having 2 abilities where the enemy team only has 1. You always want to try to focus that. So right here, I would just like to see you auto attacking these three melee minions. That'll give you 2 a lot quicker than them because they still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minions to kill before they're level 2. You walk up, you land a stun, you kill them. But let's say hypothetically you were gonna hit level 2 right here. You want to start moving towards the enemy before the last minion dies. That way you're right on top of them when it comes time to fight. Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
right
that makes
now,
sense. So position
again,
before you get there.
yeah. So like, let's say hypothetically again, you didn't miss those 3 first melee minions, right? Right after that minion is when you would hit 2, and you would have the advantage over the enemy. But even though you have this advantage, you're not close enough to actually use it. So you should start walking forward sooner. Okay,
Oh,
let's go with this. So this is actually majority Kaisa here. Your E is really
Yeah.
good, but again, you're throwing abilities and then walking away.
Yeah, that's what I do. I like poke, man. I play safe. My thing is I play hella safe. Like
So
sometimes to a fault.
there's a difference between playing safe though and knowing
Yeah.
your limitations. Because I
Yep.
don't think there's ever a situation where you guys lose this fight here. This
Like
this is
2v2
just,
wise, right?
yeah, this is just hard winning here. So again, Kaisa's level 2 over them. You throw your E, you have her zoned. You could be autoing right now. Your E detonates by itself, but you didn't really do a whole lot here. You know?
Yep.
So know your limitations, fight with your ADC. You know, a good rule of thumb is if your ADC is up a certain distance, you can be with them. And again, we're always trying to get that auto. So that's part of the bad habit that you have of throwing your E and running, is you're only getting half
Yep.
your damage off. Especially in the lane phase, you want to be trying to alternate your abilities with your autos as much as possible. Okay, so you just hit level 2. Immediately, we're
Yep.
looking to Q. So what I would want you to do here is Q first, and then throw your E at the same time. But what you're gonna do is you're actually not going to be detonating your E right away. So you'll Q E. It'll actually be a
Okay.
Q E auto, hit E again to detonate it, auto again. So you should be in between every auto attack or every single auto attack or ability. You should be moving in a way that's going to benefit you. So right here, we'll watch this. You are right next to Twitch, right? So ideally,
Yep.
he should probably stay that distance away from you. But look how much distance he gaps or he closes in on you because you auto and then you hesitate. So it should be auto, walk immediately. Auto, walk immediately. Ability, walk immediately. But instead, because you just like right click on him and you're not walking in between your next auto attack, he gets this big gap on you here. So
Yep.
now you have to shoot a Hail Mary Q, hope that it lands.
True.
You see Airy go off, so you know that it hit, right? So you can throw your E immediately. Again, you're just walk towards him here, because you know that you have him beat. So here, Nami is not here. So you could be playing up here. Another thing, so you were just talking about how full HP is a bad thing. I think full mana is a bad thing. Especially when you're playing
Oh,
a
okay.
poke support. If you have full mana, that means you're not trying to poke enough. Okay, same thing again here. Nami uses Q and misses it. They have 0 CC available right now, right? So this is a free opportunity to engage, but you're running the opposite direction as your ADC goes in. Okay, lower elo players are very, very easy to read typically. So like this
Yep.
Twitch has only gone invisible this entire game one time. And do you remember when it happened?
Do I remember when he got him? Was it when Kane came or no?
It was when Kane came.
Yep.
So Twitch only goes invisible when he's trying to fight. That's
Okay.
super easy to read. I've seen this player play for 4 minutes, and I can already tell you he's only going to go invisible if he's trying to fight or if somebody's
Yep.
here. You know, so that's something I can read already. A good Twitch player, they'll go invisible often, and you don't know if they're roaming or if they're looking or if they're just trying to use their invisibility to get attack speed and clear the wave quicker. You know, but again, as Nami misses Q again, so you should just walk at her. Also, you always want to try to land your E first and then your Q, because your E is slow, so it makes it easier to land the Q.
Oh, okay.
And then again, the E,
Yep. I try to get greedy with the slow again.
Okay, and we didn't need to flash there because he was backing off, that's fine. But yeah, so the E, if they're sitting in the field before it's detonated, it'll slow, but also just hitting them with the ability and detonating it on them will also slow them for a portion of time. You have eyes on Hecarim here, right? So instead of getting vision here, what you could do, and instead of getting vision here and here, you could walk into their jungle, get a ward here and here instead. Because right now, you're warding for a gank, but you know Hecarim's top. So what you can do instead is deep ward, and now you'll have vision on him miles ahead of him ever pulling off a gank. So actually, because you don't have eyes on Kane, these are the better wards. But if Kane was the one top side, you could
If he
ward
shows top, then I go in
yeah.
there. Okay.
Okay. Good poke. I
Now-
like that.
I always poke under tower there, and like I have to back up because I don't want to take tower damage. Is it better just to get my gold and hit the tower, or should I keep trying to poke?
Here you're fine. You still have 3 minions actually. So this is the thing. You have to know your own champion's limitations, but you have to know the enemy champion's limitations as well. So if this is a Thresh or a Blitzcrank, and there's only 3 minions here, this is very dangerous because you can get hooked under tower, right? But with a Nami Twitch lane, they can't really do anything. A Nami bubble is your worst fear. So it's fine. You don't need to be here at all, actually. You could have stayed a little bit longer. Continue hitting tower, or, you know, like, Twitch is now going to farm this very safely because you guys aren't here to pressure him. Whereas if you guys are here, he's going to have to miss some minions, or he's going to take some damage while trying to farm it. That is a good, like, rule of thumb, though, is anytime you're going to recall, try to push the wave into tower. But a good habit to get into if you're trying to roam more is immediately out of base, run right here. This will allow you to potentially look mid, get vision and river, or just go back bot lane. So we'll just call this, or we'll consider this, getting vision in the tri-bush. So when it comes to getting vision in this tri-bush, especially because, when you're on red side, the enemy team is almost always going to have a control ward here, right? That's just like common sense. Blue side puts their control ward here, red side puts their control ward here. To make life easier on you, just wait to push. So what you'll do is you'll push this wave in, so they have to be under tower last hitting minions, and then you just walk over and you take it. You know,
Okay,
it
so you
makes your life a
clear
lot.
when your
Yeah,
lane's pushed. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I will say this though, boots are going to be more important than Dark Seal. If you
You
can
think
afford
so?
a Dark
So
Seal, that means you can afford tier 1 boots. So I would have liked to
tier
see
one
that
boots.
instead. Yeah,
Okay, okay. So tier one boots before Dark Seal or tier two before Dark Seal?
tier 1 is fine. Because,
Okay.
tier 2 is going to cost you 800, Dark Seal is going to cost you 350. So if you're sitting in base with 600 gold, you can't afford boots, but you can afford a Dark Seal, Dark Seal is
Yep.
something that I'll get if I want to take a gamble on myself, I got a good feeling about the game, or if I just simply can't afford anything else and I don't want to walk back to lane with like all this gold in my pocket,
Yeah.
So when I play Lux support, my goal in lane is always poke as much as possible with my E, and once I get them to like half HP, then I look for an all-in. And it feels like because you're leading with your Q, you're always looking for the all-in. Does that make
I
sense?
am. Yeah, I for sure am too. That's
So
accurate.
try to poke more with your Q, or with your
Okay.
E. So E auto, E auto, E auto, until you can chunk them enough. Also, Twitch kind of wastes his ult here, but by walking into him, you allow him to get, good damage off. So sometimes it's okay. The best case scenario is just to do nothing.
Okay.
Let's see. Right here, Twitch uses his ulti. And you guys don't actually need to fight. You can just run away and he wastes his ulti. But by choosing to fight after he uses his ulti, he's going to get all this damage off. And also his E. So his E, the more poison he has on you, he can press E if you're within a certain range. And then you take damage. So if he has a lot of poison on you, it's best to walk away. And then this is another situation. So this Nami, it kind of, a lot of what I'm talking about here just comes down to like reading people's habits and stuff like that. And if people start
Okay.
playing unorthodox, then you know something's up, right? So
Okay.
this Nami has done pretty much nothing this entire game. A good Nami player will be trading actively with autos and her W. This Nami sits back, throws a Q every once in a while, and that's about it, right?
Yep.
So not really doing a whole lot. But now let's see what this Nami does. Out of nowhere, for the first time all game, Nami has walked past her own minion wave, which tells you
Okay.
Twitch is probably here. She's trying to do something.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, so when you're using lens like this, just to get maximum efficiency, you popped right here. Just, walk into the jungle, see if you can find any other wards or something. Yeah. Get maximum efficiency out of it. This is tricky. I don't really expect you to do this, and I don't even know if I would have done this if I was in the game. But right here, you have to ask yourself, what is the bigger threat? Is it Kayn right here, or is it Nami and Twitch here together? So
Okay.
you using your Q on Kayn here is going to hopefully prevent him from getting on your ADC. But if you use Q here, you could potentially hit both Nami and Twitch, and they can't follow up. Okay. So again, we're looking for high percentage plays.
Okay.
Okay, so here, this is a 2-on-3, which is already a low percentage play. You guys would have to play really, really well. I actually kind of like the start of this fight. This is fine. I would have liked you to just Q auto, E auto, get out. A quick little trade,
Okay.
maximum efficiency, and then you're out. After this, though, you're chasing with cooldowns. You have no E for 6, no Q for 5. This ulti isn't going to accomplish anything. I think you had a nice trade there. You caught out the Kayn, Q auto, E auto, out. But you're chasing for an ulti that... So, again, best case scenario here, you land ulti on Kayn and he doesn't die. Because he's 50% HP. Worst case scenario, you walk up, you miss ulti, and you die. So it's just not a risk worth taking.
It's not worth, yeah.
You find yourself here. You have like a list of priorities. Being bot lane by yourself farming minions is very, very low on the priority list. The only time you're ever bot lane farming minions is if your ADC dies, you don't have enough gold to recall, your jungler's ganking top, so it's not like you can meet up with your jungler, your mid lane recalled, so it's not like you can roam mid. There's literally nothing for you to do on the map. So at that point you're like, why not treat myself, grab myself some minions, a little bit of XP and gold, right? That's very, very low on the support priority list. So you probably shouldn't be here to begin with. And then there's also just, the Twitch that you have to keep in mind. Twitch invisibility.
Yep, he melts me.
Yeah. Yeah, also don't feel the need to go bot lane all the time. You know?
Yeah,
At this point in the game, you could have roamed a little bit. At that
that's what
point, I
I
don't even
always
know if
do.
it's considered roaming. That's more or less like rotating. If this were me, I look at this and I say your guys' map is very dark.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
so you have to
I
think
know.
about where is the next play, and can I set up vision there safely? So there's no dragon right now. I would say Baron's probably the next major objective coming up. So I would probably just go grab some vision around here. Maybe, like a single ward right here, a control ward right here. Um, Maybe one if you're feeling up to it. And this is called the pixel brush, by the way. This is
Okay.
pixel, so one in the pixel brush, or maybe one right here. And this is pretty dark, so it's a little dangerous to walk in here by yourself. So you can always throw your E into a bush and see if there's an enemy there first, because your E gives vision. So this
I
is
know Elo.
the reason I call this as a random fight is because fights are meant to happen over an objective. It's like
Yeah.
an objective comes up, so neither team wants to give it, so they're gonna fight each other, and the winner of that fight takes the objective. Right here, there's no objective. You guys are fighting over, like, I don't know,
We're playing team
river.
deathmatch.
Yeah, pretty much. You guys are fighting over vision in the river, which doesn't really do a whole lot for you.
Yeah.
At this stage of the game, I don't think you need to put a control word here. There's gonna be better places for it. This is a good control word for lane phase, and that's about it. Okay, I think there is potential for you to hard pop off this fight. So
I know,
this is
man.
a 4v5. You guys have eyes here. Now, another thing I don't understand is you are ahead of your entire team here, but somehow I feel like you fall really far behind. Yeah, so I think your routing just wasn't the best. Also, you use your W a little early. Like, you're
Okay.
using it before the fight starts. The W is something you want to react to, like, as a fight is breaking out, I would say.
Okay.
And then as Lux, okay, so obviously you're capable of one-shotting like the squishy carries of the team, but what you always want to do for the most part, unless you see a really great opening to like snipe out Twitch, if Twitch walks up like right here, you could probably snipe him with a Q and one-shot him or something. But for the most part, you're just looking to hit whoever is in front of you. It's called front-to-back team
Okay.
fighting. So we're gonna see Jax and Kane right here. I would like to see your Q go on them. I think Kane's gonna ulti right now, so you'd probably miss him. But at least you would peel right here for your Kaisa, who's getting destroyed by Jax. So I would have liked to see Q here on Jax.
Okay.
And then your ulti is an execute, as I've mentioned, but it's also something you don't wanna just use to use it. Unless you
Yep.
see like a ton of people lined up and it's like a perfect ulti, you're usually trying to use it on a locked down target. So QER is your standard combo, and that's because it'll lock it. The Q, to start locks them down, and then you can. So I would go Comet, Mana
Arcane.
Flow,
Mana.
Transcendent,
Transcendent.
Scourge. Here, actually, this much would be tricky. A really
Okay.
standard option would be Biscuit Delivery, Cosmic Insight.
Yeah.
If you want to play a little bit more defensive, you can go Bone Plating, Revitalize. I could even see an argument be made for like, I don't know, like Presence of Mind and Coup de Grace. There's
You
a
think
lot
that'll be
of
like
different
matchup
options
dependent
here.
or what?
I think so. I would say that this is matchup dependent. Bone Plating and Revitalize is the safest option. You would do this in a losing matchup.
Like what, for example? Like, can you give me an example of one?
Blitzcrank, Thresh.
A Blitzcrank?
Anything
Okay.
that's looking to hard engage on you and kill you.
Leona or
Yeah,
something.
absolutely. Biscuit
Yeah.
Delivery and Cosmic Insight is just like, really safe. It's not really aggressive. It's not really defensive. It's good. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I want you to try doing more often. Try, even though your elo is known for picking random fights, try to encourage your team to do the right thing. So in real life, when you see one person do something, you're likely to copy them, right? Or that's
Okay.
just like how our minds work. Like if you walk into a dentist office and you see people are sitting in chairs, you're likely to take a seat. That's just how human brains and the mind works. The same thing
Yep.
applies in League of Legends. If you see a teammate go to the dragon pit without even realizing it, you are very likely to also go to the dragon pit. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So through your movements in the game, you can encourage your teammates to follow you. So what I want you to try to do more often is when, like, especially mid game, um, what I want you to do is every time you find yourself in fountain, look at the map and think where should we be right now? What is there to fight over? What's the next play? Should I get vision near Baron or should I get vision near Dragon? Or are we gonna try to siege this mid lane tower? So I want to try to get vision around the tower. You know, getting that vision and moving towards those objectives will encourage your team to do it as well. Okay, so we spawn. What is the play here?
Um, let's see, where am I looking? I think I just go mid by default, I want to say.
Okay, what do you think you should
Mid.
do?
Well, I would say definitely try to get some vision around the map because we still have none.
Okay, but where on the map?
Let's see. Trying to think where the next play could be. Either by Dragon or Baron.
Yeah, so I can't actually see using this replay how long
Yeah,
Dragon
same.
comes
Cause
up.
yeah, same. I couldn't tell if Dragon was up, so I said Dragon or Baron.
Yeah,
Kind of depending
so
on.
Dragon's not up, and I don't think it'll be up in the next few minutes, but Baron is up right now.
Okay.
So that's probably where we're looking to get vision.
Yep.
Mid
But I would
prio.
think I would think someone's guarding Baron now because I think it's likely that they're there.
Yeah, so at this point you don't need to go like here and get vision. You just want to get what's called shallow vision. So shallow vision means like you're being pretty conservative. You're getting vision like around here, and then hopefully like one ward right here just to see if they're on Baron.
Okay.
You know? So you would get shallow vision, especially like because your jungler's here, so it's it's safe to walk here, stuff like that. And then even
Yep.
this bush here could be a little dangerous to walk into, but you just throw your E there to check first. You do typically want mid pushed out first though, so going mid is not bad. The reason you want mid pushed out first is because I'll show you this right here. So minions act as moving wards. Think about it that way. So what happens here is they shove in this mid wave. So they have mid prio. They are now missing, but what these minions do for them is they give the blue team vision of you and Kaisa, right?
Yeah.
So minions are literally walking wards, and now that mid is pushed in, they can see two of you. They have mid prio because you have to push out this wave before you can do anything. They're now able to go over here for free and get vision. Yeah. So this is the thing. Minions are walking wards. These minions, after they pushed in mid, just got vision on you guys. So that's one issue. The other issue is you are using wards here and you are using your lens here to control vision over this. But this doesn't matter right now.
Oh, okay,
There's
okay.
nothing worth fighting over in this area right now. And
Okay.
wards, you don't get too many of them. So you have to make sure every one of them counts. So instead of using vision here, your vision should be there on Baron right now. In lower ranks, people think, oh, they're bot lane. We have to go bot lane. And higher ranks, you think, what the hell are they doing? They're wasting all their time. There's nothing bot lane for them to do. So let's go somewhere where there's something we can actually do.
Yeah.
If they go 5 top, or they send 3 people top, and there's no towers here, they can't do anything until they were to get to this inhib or this like a tower here potentially. They're wasting their time there, and then you guys can go to a dragon or something, So don't think that just because you see people that there's something that they're there for.
Okay. What'd you
Let's
think?
see. So some things that we can remind ourselves of. So in lane phase, looking to poke first before looking for all-ins. We're looking to poke a lot with our E and then all-in with our Q. We're also looking to work on making sure we're being super efficient in between every auto attack and every ability, making sure that we're moving in a way that's going to benefit us. Again, thinking back to that fight against Twitch where you guys were right next to each other, but because you weren't being efficient with your movements, he was able to create a gap on you.
Yep.
Mixing in autos between abilities. Using
your
your
first
ult.
and then queuing.
Yeah, Eing first and then queuing to get a slow and make it easier for yourself to land a Q. Thinking about using your ult as a way to execute. Using it when it's like a lot of people are lined up, or if somebody is stunned. If you don't meet either of those scenarios, then it's better to just probably hold your ulti because you want to try to guarantee that you land it. When it comes to team fighting, looking to fight front to back. Controlling vision more around objectives and trying to encourage your team to play around objectives by leading by example and getting vision and using your pings because people are likely to follow you if you lead by example. making sure that you're not just following people, or when you see people on the map, you're just running at them instead, fighting over things that are worth fighting about. Oh, also knowing your champion's limits,
Yeah.
knowing when it's okay to walk up, trying to break that habit of casting an E and then running away, and also remembering to punish enemy champions who waste crucial abilities like a Nami Q, Blitzcrank Q, Thresh Q, punishing them
Yep.
when they do that.